Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Ma'am Erlene, the Dean of the College of Education, for inviting us and to have or to deliver some of our uh, reading modal or our modality or some of our interventions for the reading of our a problem of our children. Okay, so this morning we will be discussing on the difficulty in basic learning and applying knowledge. And I understand while preparing for the slides, I understand that all of us, the third year and the fourth year college students in the faculties of FU with Mom Erlene are already here. So to our CID chief also, Ma'am Nilita Ragay, good morning, Ma'am. To Ma'am Tata and the rest of us. Okay, so we will be discussing about Marungko approach. This is one of the strategy or a method that we will be using in reading. Our objective for this activity or for this topic, we have to identify the simple steps of Marungko approach. And we also have to write an activity. Thank you, Ma'am. Activity for any of the steps presented. We will be displaying creativity while writing the said activity. And we also have to perform the assigned task with self-confidence and cooperation. So for these things and for this topic today, I hope that we can also give and share some methods so that our children in the future and also our children for today, we can give them assistance in terms of reading skills. We will be having our game, one game only, friends. This is titled Guess Who I Am. We will be guessing this person. This is very famous person. He is an American actor and producer. He is known for his famous movies, The Top Gun, The Cherry Miguel, The Last Samurai, and The Mission Impossible. He started his career at age 19 in the film Endless Love. And he told us that I had to train myself to focus my attention and became very visual and learned how to create mental images in order to comprehend what I read. Friends, I just hope that all of us can guess who is this. This is a famous one.
Tom
So
Cruise.
let's
Tom Cruise, ma'am.
see.
Tom Cruise.
Very good. A big virtual applause to all of us because you have a right guess. That's Tom Cruise. Now we will be discussing all of us and all our children, most of our children have difficulty in basic learning and applying specific learning disorder in a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by difficulties in learning and using academic despite the provision of interventions that target difficulties. And this is according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, 5th edition. Means Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, 5th edition. So these are our hidden difficulties, friends, especially to our students. We have the so-called dyslexia, which means this is for the regular students. Difficulty in reading, the dysgraphia, difficulty in writing and spelling. And I understand that dyscalculia is the difficulty in mathematics, which will be delivered also to our mom, Elisa Baguio. We will tackle on this. So we will be focusing on the difficulty in reading of our children. Okay, so let's decode the secret message. Let's try to see the next slide, which is a message, and this will be decoded by all of us. I will give you 60 seconds to decode this message. Okay, I understand that all of us are all expert on reading this secret message. Let's reveal what is this message all about. So, the problem is in the way the mind interprets what the eyes see, like an optical illusion, except this mismatched between that what illusion and reality happens with ordinary print on a page. So that first, so before this slide may answer, decoding it doesn't mean that the way that the student is writing the sentence or a paragraph, but it's the way the child reads it or read the situation. Okay, so we are now having or will now be focusing on the main meat, the lecture about Marungko. This Marungko approach is a method called phonosyllabic. This is in Filipino. This is an approach used in Filipino, but of course, it can be applied in mother tongue because it's a syllabic method. So this is teaching of correct single sounds and blending of sounds into syllables and words. This is easy way in teaching reading in both Filipino and MTB, and this is the basic step for learning how to read and comprehend what we are reading. Each letter is represented by or with its sound. We have 28 letters in Filipino alphabet, and it includes the MTB, as I've said, and it includes including already the borrowed letters. So 28 all in all, including the borrowed letters. Mastery of the letter sounds is very important in this approach. So these are now the following letters of the alphabet in Filipino or in Marungko approach. So we see here in the slide, no need of mentioning the letters, but the borrowed letters are from 21, from the next month, 28 after the 28. Okay. So these are the borrowed letters. So first, okay, W, then we have the letter J, the letter F, and the rest of those letters that are borrowed that can be teach or taught to our children after presenting the Marungko letters. So the after the 21 letters. We have here simple steps in Marungko approach. So teaching Marungko will be followed, these steps will be followed so that our children can easily read and easily comprehend what they are reading. These are the 5 steps. First is recognizing sound represented by a letter, and each one of these will be discussed later. Second is the blending the sounds. Third is spelling. And the fourth is adding this is the salitandaan. This is not adding articles, but sight words. These are sight words. And the fifth one is reading a story or through a game. So we can use pictures of words. The first 5 lessons are as follows. The letter M, letter S, A, I, and O. So these are the 5 lessons which will be taught first to our children. And we will be teaching each sound and form until mastery before a new sound is introduced. So we have to ask questions to our children to which the response will elicit the target sound. We can use pictures of words beginning with M, S, A, and so forth, depending on the current lessons. So first, we will be discussing on this one. In this step 1, recognizing the letter sound represented by a letter, we are having the first example, which is really the first letter to be taught in Marungko. Writing the letter name on air, the letter M, we can have the big M and the small m. Again, writing this letter name on air, we can also ask our children to write this on the desk, on their paper, or maybe they can perform it through body language. Second is we have to name the picture, meaning writing the letter M while naming, uh, of course, we have to mention the letter name M. Then show a picture of a mama or a mother. I'm using mama because this is mother tongue. Mama is the first language that the child can utter. So that is why we have to use letter M as the first letter to be taught. We have to use picture that mother, the picture of a mama. We can see here in the slide, in our slide, mama. Again, there's no word yet, but a picture of a mama while the teacher is saying mama. Then give the sound of the mama. Word mama emphasizing sound of M or sound. So we have two M's here in the word mama. We can also emphasize the second ma. In introducing this, it's not only after the giving of the sound of mama through the picture and emphasizing the sound of letter M, but we can have also a rap, a song of letter M, or other pictures that start with letter M so that the children can master the sound of M. So we have here the rap. This is just an example. Uh, in this first step, we're using explicit reading instruction where we, the teachers, will modeling or we have to be a model, meaning the teacher will say it and perform it first. Then everybody will do it together with the teacher and the child. Then next will be the child alone. So I, we, and you. We're using again the guided or the explicit reading instruction. So next is, let's let the children or show them how to write it. Write the letter M using the finger, air, on the desk, on the paper as they give the sound. So next will be how to use and how to improve in literacy, which naming of pictures, using the naming of pictures. Example of a picture and the word mama. Mama here is not presented during the naming of pictures, but just the teacher will be the one to say the word while presenting the picture of a mother. The teacher will say mama, 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 meaning pronounce it 3 times and ask the child about the picture, then produce the initial sound represented by letter M, which is the sound of mm. How to teach this letter M? We have to give the sound first and then the letter, meaning presenting letter M to the children and then say, which is letter M. Again, in doing this naming of pictures, we will be using explicit reading instruction. The teacher will say, followed, and then together with the child and the teacher, mm, and then the child alone will give the sound of mm. Next will be, we can also ask our children more things with the sound of mm. So like for example, letter M with the pictures of a mama, the manga, next slide please ma'am, and the siam. So mama, the manga, and the siam. So we can see there, why is it that siam is being introduced while we are still in the 5 letters to be taught? Because we are just asking the things with sound, which will be given by our children. So we are soliciting words with the sound of mm. Okay. So after that, still we can ask our children to name more things that which start with letter M or with the sound of M. They can name the name of their classmates as long as there are letter M's, and the teacher also will be the one to process, because we understand that not all of our students can do it. Maybe they can give also names of objects or names of their classmates without the sound or without letter M. We have here the rap, as I've said. This is just for mastery. So we can do this. This is just an example of a rap. Ang M, ang M, ang M. I'm using the MTB friends. Ang M, kay So we will do this with the rapping and doing the tapping of our hands to have a rhythm of this rap. We will do this for the rest of the sounds. Same ang, then the sound ang sound, then kai produce the sound of the letter. We can also give or introduce a song for mastery again. We have here the sound for letter M. Unsa ang tingog sa letrang M, sa letrang M, sa letrang M. Unsa ang tingog sa letrang M. Hmm, hmm, So doing this, our children, of course, will enjoy, because through singing, through a game, and through rapping, our children can master the lesson. Not only in uttering those, but through singing, they can master all those things. And then we will now go, or still we are in the step one for recognizing letter sound by represented by a letter. We have to choose pictures which can easily be remembered and start with correct sound of letters used in Filipino or MTB. Example, mama. It's up for the teachers to look for words to be introduced, but of course, those pictures, those words that can easily be remembered by our children, because what we are emphasizing here is the sound of letters and not actually the word, because this is we are still in the beginning stage of reading. This time we will have our guessing game again, and we will just say yes or no. No, yes or no. This is a yes or no game. Letters learned. We understand that the letters learned are the M, A, S, L, O, B, E, U, and T. In these letters learned by the children, are we going to introduce, or is it right to introduce the word mata at this time for our children? Say yes if it's yes, and say no if it's not. May I hear from the group? Can we introduce mata here when these words are already taught?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's just try if your answer is correct. Thank you for those who are participating. So let's try if it's yes. A click, yes. Then can we introduce talong, the word talong, if those letters learned by our children are presented on screen? Can we
Yeah.
introduce immediately talong?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Still
ma'am.
yes. Okay. If those participants answered yes, this is just a reminder to all of us. We don't have, or we did not teach yet the letters N and G. Look at the letters learned, friends. M, A, S, L, O, B, E, U, and T. Talong there. There's T, there's A, there's L, there's O, but there's no N and letter G yet. So the answer for this talong is no. Okay, don't you worry, friends, because later on we will be learning more and your answer will be all correct. Okay, so let's have the step. Let's now go to the step two. Step two in those steps in teaching Marungko approach. This is the Step two is blending a sound. Okay, thank you. Blending of sounds is the second step for teaching Marungko approach. These are words that are made up of syllables. And these syllables are already taught and learned by our children. I gave there an example or examples of those syllables. The there or the letter M was being introduced already with a letter A. So the child will say, the child will blend to make a syllable. Mm, a, ma, a, mm, am, s, a, sa, ma, s, mas, ma, mm, mom. Again, in teaching this blending of sounds, still we have to use the explicit reading instruction. The teacher will say, mm, a, ma. Then the child and the teacher, mm, a, ma. Then the child alone, mm, a, ma. So that's it. So of course, for how many times that we will be mentioning or uttering those sounds of letters to form syllables, and later on we can form a phrase. We will do this for the rest of the letters to be introduced after the 5 lessons to be presented, or after the 5 lessons presented. The step 3 here is the spelling. Spelling, this is easy to recall if writing is involved in uh, finger spell. Talking about finger spell, I understand all of us knew this, but we have to execute this for our students who are here. First step for this spelling is we have to choose a word. And I chose mama here as the word. Second, pronounce the word. This is for the teacher. This is for or to all of us who are here in this platform. So again, I chose the word mama as the first word to be introduced. Mama, mama, mama. It's nice to utter this 3 times to our children. Again, mama, mama, mama. Repeat 3 times uttering the word mama, but of course, while pronouncing the word, we are already emphasizing the sound of letter M. That's our target. Again, our target in choosing the name of the word mama is to emphasize the sound of letter M. Then the next one is finger spell. Finger spell means we have to count, or we have to pronounce like this. Mama. Do not say as mama because we are already syllabicating the word. We will be blending the sounds represented by each letter of the word mama, meaning letter M, A, M, and A will be spelled through our fingers, counted like counting our fingers in doing it. Ma, ma, blending the M sound, the M sound, and the A sound. Then, of course, the child can do this finger spell, 4 fingers for the word mama. Writing, the next step will be writing the word mama on air, on the desk, either if it's we are having the face to face at the back of our seatmates, on the table, top of the table, or writing it through our body before writing the word on their paper. Next one, because they already wrote the name mama there on their paper, they have to read it. But reading this, of course, with supervision and guidance from our teachers or maybe the facilitators of learning at home who are their parents. If the word is misspelled by the child, that's the time and that's a reminder to all of us teachers and students that we have to go back to the sounds represented by each letter, meaning the child did not master yet the sound of the letters. Because mastering or knowing that they mastered already the sounds, they can blend the sound per letter to form a word. So that's spelling or the third step in teaching Marungko approach. And then ask them to write it on with their fingers, giving the sound and write the symbol. So let's now go to the step 4. Step 4 is pagdagdag ng salitandaan. And this salitandaan, we are looking for this word, and this word is sight words or function words. No, these are sight words or function words that cannot be taught through the phonosyllabic method as whole words. So this can be these sight words that we will be introduced to our children. This will be added to the word so that we can form a phrase, a sentence, maybe. So these are some of the examples. Ang, mga, I, siya. So these are in Filipino. In mother tongue, we can also use ang. In mother tongue, we have also words such as mga in mother tongue. We can also use the adunay, silay. So those are words that can be used to form a phrase in a sentence. So how to teach these function words or sight words to our children? Again, please focus on the word mama as our word. Then we will be adding a sight word to form a phrase like ang mama. So this time we will be using the word mga. How to teach mga as our function word or as our sight word to form a phrase? We have to spell this again. Let's not immediately introduce it to our children like adding immediately the word mga to the word mama. No, we have steps also in on how to teach these function words and sight words. We have to spell. We're using now the word mga here. First is we have to spell the word mga. The teacher will show the word mga maybe on a word strip or a strip or in the on the blackboard, and then the teacher will utter the word mga. The teacher, of course, will be the one to spell the word mga as M-G-A. The teacher will read mga. Then, together with the child, as I've said, all the presentations of all the topics will be using explicit reading instruction. Reading instruction. We will be guiding the child on the process on how to do it. In spelling of the word mga, the teacher will say M-G-A. The child and the teacher will be together in uttering or to and in giving the letters M-G-A. Then the teacher will say mga. Then the child and the teacher again will do it together. Same in the writing of the word mga. The teacher will write it first, Then together with the child, as the teacher is the model of the child and how she wrote the word mga, the word mga, and then in reading still the same, explicit. The teacher, that child and the teacher, then that child alone will do the rest. So spell, read, write while naming the letter name. Then read mga 3 times. The teacher will read mga, mga, mga. Friendly reminder, we cannot read the word mga if we will not spell it first per letter. Okay. So after that, we will be doing the still in teaching mga, how to teach mga again, teach how to read, teach how to spell, teach how to write this on their paper, and write the word on air while eyes are closed. So again, we are mastering our children in giving the spelling, or helping them spell the word through closing their eyes while uttering the word mga, writing this on air, and we experienced this already during the time that we are in elementary, when our teacher will say, spell mga, close your eyes and write this on air. So this is now part of step 4, mga. Then write the word while opening already our eyes, of course. Writing while closing our eyes, meaning we have to recognize and we have to identify those children who can already spell the word, closing the eyes, writing this on air, and then reading the word mga. With close supervision, of course, from the teachers, because other children are not writing the correct letter while closing their eyes. Again, if the word is misspelled, back to letter sound. Let's now go to the step 5, which is reading a story. Reading a story is the step 5. Thank you, ma'am. These are now these steps are already learned, no? We have the rhyme, or we can use the story using the letters, the symbols, the phrase learned from the previous lessons. I have here a story of a manga para ni mama. So in step 4, sorry, friends, because there is one slide there after the teaching the salitandaan. The step 4, the next slide is we are having the phrases and the sentences. Yes. There are, or here are some of the examples of phrases and sentences from the word mama, from the word manga that I presented. We're using now si as the function word there to form a phrase. Si mama gihatag niya siyam kamangga. So those are phrases and the sentences. Ang mangga ni mama, tamis ang mangga ni mama. So those are some of the phrases and the sentences which we introduced to our students or pupils with those function words already. And with letter M, of course, we can ask our children, which among the phrases, or what words found in those phrases with the sound of So they will give the word mama, word siyam, and the word manga. In the sentence, 2 sentences, manga, mama, tam is, balik na pud siya, manga, mama. At least they can already recognize the letter name M, and of course, emphasizing the sound of letter M through those words given in those phrases and sentences. I've here a story of Manga para ni Mama. And we are so proud to inform everyone that this next slide, which is our story of a mama, and yes, that's one, Manga para ni Mama. And I'm so proud to inform everyone that our CID chief and our concurrent OIC ASDS, Dr. Nelita Ragay, who initiated this through CID, this Marungko approach, and this is a work text uh, for grade 1 and 2, and of course for the emergent literates. From those presented pictures with the sound of like the mama manga and the word siam there, we, after introducing all those, we have this story, because this is already for mastery, and of course it follows with the comprehension check. The first 2 pages of this Marungko work text, initiated by Ma'am Nilita Ragay, are the words or pictures, are the pictures with sound, and then at the bottom immediately the child will write or the letter M, tracing the broken lines, because this is not only for reading, this is reading readiness in reading and in writing. So those are the 2 pages, for the first 2 pages of this work text for the emergent literates, recognizing the picture with the sound of M, with the sound of and then words with those pictures, emphasizing and introducing those letter M with the sound of then after that, writing letter M. Then the second 2 pages of this Marungko approach work text are the stories with words with sound or with letter M. Okay, we will be reading this. Manga para ni Mama. Adlaw nga natawhan ni Mama Mila, gihatagan siya ni Mara og siyam ka mangga. Tamis kaayo ang mangga, malipayon si Mama Mila. So after reading those, the teacher also can ask, what are the words found in this story which has or have the sound of letter of the sound of or which have the sound or letters that with letter M. Then after that, if the child will say Mila, okay, pronounce it again, emphasizing the sound of letter M. So the child maybe will say Mila. If the child cannot utter it, emphasizing the sound of letter M, the teacher will model on how it is being read using again the explicit reading instruction. After that, let's try to check the comprehension of our children. Unsa ang gihatag ni Mara sa iyang mama? Let's bear this in mind, that our question will lead to the answer of a word that also have the sound of because the answer of this is Mila. Mao ba? Tamis kaayo ang mangga, malipayon si Mila. Unsa ang gihatag ni Mara sa iyang mama? Mangga. So the word, the answer here is manga. We are doing this and we are looking for these questions that the answer, as I've said, will start or maybe has a sound of like manga. Pila ka buok manga ang gihatag ni Mara? The word here will lead also to the word siam, which the word siam has the sound or has a letter M, which has the sound of So again, there's mastery even in the answer and in giving of questions. So after that, those are the 5 steps in teaching Marungko approach. And we are now open, or is it clear to all of us on how to do it, and how what is this very effective to our children while we are using Marungko approach in mother tongue or in MTB? As I've said, this is for Filipino and MTB because this is syllabic reading. Okay, so for this five steps in teaching Marungko approach, we understand that in naming of pictures, this is just a summary. In naming of pictures and in giving of these lessons, we have only limit to five lessons only. The M, the S, the A, the I, and the O. But do not introduce it, the five of those letters in one setting. We have to master each letter before introducing the next letter, which is letter S. And the process that we did, the five steps that we introduced and we discussed this morning for letter M is same with the rest of the 21 letters in Marungko. Then after that, that's the time that we can also introduce the borrowed letters, the borrowed letters, because as I've said, 21 letters in Marungko, and we are introducing here 28 letters. What are the borrowed letters here? The letter C, the letter F, the J, the N, the Q, the V, the X, the Z. So here, any clarifications, or is it understood by everyone on how to teach our Marungko approach to our children, especially to the beginners?